Welcome back, everybody, to the Sam McKee Memorial Broadcast Set. Dave Little with you, and I have a very, very special guest. It is Per Eriksson, three-time Hambletonian winning trainer who was recently inducted into the Hall of Fame. Per, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate to be here.
Now, tell me, first of all, I saw you Sunday night, and we got to chatting a little bit, and you said graciously that you would come on and be with me tonight. Tell me a little bit about the experience of being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
It's fantastic. I left the States 20 years ago, and I got the chance. I heard a year ago that I was on the ballot, and when I got inducted to come into the Hall of Fame, it's a dream come true, and it's unbelievable, really.
I mean, it's hard to keep a guy out of the Hall of Fame who's won 3 Hambletonians, and certainly you had 3 of the biggest names dating back to the mid-'80s and into the early '90s. But first and foremost, you came to the States, you told me, in the early '80s. Who did you work for at the time? What country were you in, and who were you working for?
I got over here June '81, and I was working for Søren Nordin's. He had 2 sons, Jan Nordin and Ulf Nordin. And I worked for Ulf Nordin in Sweden, and Søren just had opened his stable here in the States, and they needed grooms, so I started as a groom, and I was groomed for 6 months, and I got a chance to be a second trainer after 6 months, and I was sitting beside him training all day long, and I picked up everything I could, because for me he was one of the greatest trainer ever. And after that I got the chance to open my own stable. I had a partner, Ingvar Gran, and we opened up the stable in '83, and unfortunately he got very sick, and he died the day after practice win the Hambletonian.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about some of the horses that got you to the Hall of Fame. Let's start first with Alf Palema, the 1992 Hambletonian champion. 5 out of 16 as a 3-year-old, $1 million in earnings, but he also won the World Trotting Derby and the Zweig.
Yeah, the horse did it as a 2-year-old. He was a little big and heavy horse, and we raced him in Peter Houghton and finished 5th, but he was sluggish. He raced okay, but nothing wrong with him. But we just stopped racing him and kept training him after Peter Houghton, and just training and training and training. He took the training very well.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's take a break. Let's have Ken Warkington give us the post-parade for the 4th race, and then we'll come back with more with Per Eriksson. All right, we're back with Per Eriksson. Now, we talked a little bit about Alf Palema. That was the 3rd of 3 Hambletonian victories that you had. That was in '92. In '91, you had Giant Victory, who I think his career was a little bit better than Alf Palema's. 9 out of 20 as a 3-year-old, including, of course, the Hambo and the World Trotting Derby.
Yeah, there was Alf and Palema and Giant Victory was pretty similar horses. Big, heavy horses, need a lot of training. Took a little time for them to get where they're supposed to be, and it took a little time, they needed a little training, and they turned out very nice, and it was sound horses, and we just kept plugging away as a 3-year-old.
Now, early in your career, you got here in the early '80s, and it seems that success really came your way very, very soon. In 1985, one of the best trotters I ever saw. I was a 23-year-old kid here watching a son of Speedy Crown by the name of Practice. Tell us about Practice in general, but other than the Hambletonian win, what made him so special?
He was a fantastic horse. He was a little sore as a 2-year-old, and we put him in a power cart, and power cart is a jog car with brakes on, and that's why he had to walk there all day long. He walked 3 hours a day in that power cart, pulling that, and made him very strong. He didn't train as much as on the track as a regular horse, but he was pulling that, and he got stronger and stronger as a 3-year-old, and he was amazing good. He was the best horse I ever sit behind.
So he's pulling a jog cart with brakes on it. Is it the type of thing where that's more of a European thing, where you're building more for stamina rather than speed?
Yes, it is. We've done it a lot in Sweden, and we still do a lot in Sweden. And now here in the States, I can see jog cars, power cars all over the place too, but not as much as like we do in Sweden. But that's the way they train over there.
All right, so Alf Palema wins the 3rd of 3 Hambos in '92, and then your career wound down in the States. When did you go back to Sweden from the States?
We left 2001, and time flies. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It felt like it was yesterday, but we got 4 kids, and it was lifestyle really tough living in Florida and going up here and racing. And that when they started school, the lifestyle got too tough for us, so that's why we left.
Did you take a walk through the Hall of Fame and to see some of the other people who've been inducted and say to yourself, wow, this is unbelievable. I'm in with these great people, the Houghtons and all those other folks that are up in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't, my kids have never been up there. They see all these people, and here I'm sitting in the with a nice statue, and it's you don't think cannot believe it.
Did you come to town just for the Hall of Fame?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Are you going to stay around for the Hamiltonian, Per? or what?
I'm gonna have to go home and come back.
All right, but you are going to be here on Hamiltonian Day.
Probably yes.
All right, so maybe if I have you back on for another interview then, you'd be okay with that, would you?
Yeah, there'd be no problem whatsoever.
All right, well, Per Eriksson, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your induction into the Hall of Fame. 3-time winning Hamiltonian trainer, Per Eriksson. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.